In this video, we're going to look at processor and memory. To start off with, what is a processor? Well, a processor is a device that carries out computation on data by following instructions. Or you could say a processor is used to process data and instructions. Processors are made up of wires called buses, as well as transistors, which are used to control the flow of electrical pulses, which are timed via a computer's clock. Each pulse of electricity represents parts of instructions that are being carried out by the processor. When it comes to the speed of the clock, the higher the speed, the faster these instructions get carried out. Memory is used to store data and instructions. The processor, before it carries out any tasks, will need to fetch data and instructions that are stored in the memory, decode this to make sense of it, then it will go on to carry out or execute these instructions. This is a process known as the fetch-execute cycle, which we'll look at in more detail later. Any new data created gets stored into memory. In its simplest terms, memory is a medium of storage. There are two types of memory: RAM and ROM. RAM, also known as random access memory, is also often what we refer to as main memory. This is a temporary storage space that can be accessed very quickly. This means that applications such as word processors and spreadsheets will run at a high speed. RAM is made up of a series of chips on which the data is stored electronically. Each cell within memory has its own unique address, and these cells contain either an instruction or data. The processor uses the address to find the data in memory. We'll look more into this again in another video. One key feature about RAM is that it's volatile, meaning all data gets lost when you turn your computer off. When you run a program on your computer, the entire program or part of it are loaded into RAM. The more memory or RAM you have, the more applications you can load at any one time. ROM, or read-only memory, is another method of storing data instructions, but unlike RAM or main memory, ROM is non-volatile, so data is not lost when the computer is turned off. The user is also unable to change the content of ROM, hence the name of read-only. So what's the point of ROM being so strict on its storage? Well, ROM stores the startup instructions for the computer. So when you push that little button on your device, all the instructions in ROM are fetched by the processor so that it knows how to turn itself on. If the user could change these instructions, or if it was volatile, the computer would not turn on anymore, as the processor wouldn't find these instructions. Memory is separated into blocks for the different types of instructions and data it stores. Here we can see there's a block for applications. These are the instructions for software such as office tools, games, and more. Then we have a block for library programs. Library programs are pre-written codes that are used by software. Think about on-screen keyboards on your phone or error messages. Notice how they look the same in most software. Well, that's because most software will use these library programs. There is then a block for utility programs. These are software used for maintenance of the computer. Finally, there will be a block of memory reserved for the operating system. And that's everything you need to know about processor and memory.